Pentatonix holds a special place in my heart, as they were the first band that I was a fan of. Even at a young age, I had heard of other bands before, but they were the first group that I became truly obsessed with. I learned the names of each member, I actively recommended their music to other people, and they single-handedly made me think that a cappella was the coolest skill in existence. And Pentatonix was and continues to be one of my favorite producers of music. I still listen to all their albums, watch the videos they post on their channel, and consume the music that individual members have made on their own time. Pentatonix is amazing. Now that we have established this, I would like to offer criticism to one specific aspect of the content that they create: music videos. Now, obviously the members of Pentatonix are not the people literally directing the camera crew, nor are they the ones editing the videos. They certainly have a lot of creative input when it comes to how these videos are made, as they should. Based on the behind the scenes videos, it seems like the band members are the ones who come up with at least the general idea of what the music video will look like, but I need you to know that none of the points I'll be making are directed towards any individual member, since it's almost certain that no one person is responsible for what I'm going to be critiquing. This video is not about placing blame, it's about making observations. Now then, what do I mean when I say that Pentatonix music videos have gone downhill? Well, first of all, we should establish what the purpose of a music video is, other than to rack up millions of views on YouTube. In my opinion, a good music video is one which enhances the experience of listening to the song through its visual accompaniment. Allow me to use an example to elaborate. Pentatonix's cover of Starships by Nicki Minaj. Not only does this video feature plenty of well-choreographed dancing, a variety of costumes and sets, and strong and fitting editing, but it tells a story. It creates a narrative for the viewer to follow along with. It may be kinda corny and not very complex, but if you were to tab away from the video at any point, you'd be left with the question, what happened next? It starts off by having everyone seemingly wake up looking all messy-like, and then shows them putting themselves together, fixing their hair, teeth. They're obviously preparing for something, which prompts the question, what are they preparing for? Well, soon after we learn that they are astronauts or aspiring astronauts or something along those lines. Then it is revealed that the ASNA space program, which they work for, has been shut down forever, preventing them from going to space. This establishes a conflict for the group to overcome, leading the audience to wonder, how will Pentatonix get to space? And this question will linger in the viewer's head as we watch the group come up with a plan, launch into a sort of montage sequence containing a clip of Kirsty emitting the most perfect energy imaginable, and a scene of the group presenting their invention to an audience that laughs at them. Then we get the payoff of the group powering up the machine, it works, and they celebrate. Now, like I said, this is not a very deep or complicated story, but for being a music video, it hits the nail on the head. It holds your attention and remains entertaining the entire way through. And it was not uncommon for old Pentatonix music videos to incorporate a story of some kind into the visuals, even if Starships is the most overt example. Papaute has the band members play as dolls in a little boy's toy box who entertain the kid, but freeze whenever the dad is around. Rather B sees each of the members exploring a big city, crossing paths, and eventually meeting up with each other. Coldest Winter is a tragic snowman's. Aha is literally a scary story that the band members are telling their friends. You get the idea. And the more recent music videos just kinda lack these elements. Of course, they are not entirely absent, but simply far more rare. The only music videos which have added some type of story to the experience in the past 3 years have been God Only Knows and debatably perfect. Of course, adding a narrative of some kind, unique to the visuals, is not the only way that a music video can enhance the song it's being played over. There is also the factor of simply how visually stimulating the video is to watch. This is why I often hold animated music videos in such high regard. The expressiveness and variety possible in animation is nearly limitless, which makes them by far the most fun to simply look at, whether or not they have a narrative attached to them. And of course, old school Pentatonix seemed almost predisposed to doing this, and one of the biggest reasons that was the case was because of how often they traveled to real locations to shoot the video rather than recording on a small set. This gave them access to far more variety in what they could show. Look at Radioactive's music video, for example. The group literally looks like they are in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. There's broken down buildings, cars, and rubble everywhere. This gave them enough room to have one individual set for each member on their own and one for the whole group together, and the fact that it's a real location meant that they had way more depth to work with. Just look at this shot where the camera uses the building remnants to frame Kevin. Or in this shot where they zoom out and focus the camera on the building behind Mitch, leaving him out of focus, thus placing more emphasis on his environment. Or just the fact that there are so many unique backgrounds, mountains, deserts, broken down buildings, washed out sky. It all serves to immerse the viewer in the scene by convincing you that this is a real environment that the band members are performing in, which it is, and immersion is inherently engaging. Another great example is Where Are You Now, which actually may have been filmed in a studio, but I can't say for sure, again because of the variety of different set pieces and attention to detail in creating this warehouse looking area. And the fact that some of the band members can even be seen walking throughout the warehouse from one room to another only amplifies this by connecting these sets in the viewer's mind. The visuals also complement the audio especially well in this case because this is the exact type of location which would create the type of echo that can be heard in the vocals. All of this is very immersive, wouldn't you say? Now let's look at, for example, The Sound of Silence, which keeps the warehouse aesthetic but ditches everything I just praised the Where Are You Now video for. We get one location. The band members are just standing in a line in that one location. There's virtually no detail or personality conveyed by the location, and the entire video is just the camera desperately trying to find new angles to look at the band from. This is a problem that has plagued videos like Can You Feel the Love Tonight, Waving Through a Window, Deck the Halls, Come Along, and Havana. And you don't even need multiple real locations. Just one location can be far more effective than a set because you don't have to worry about maintaining the fourth wall. Mary Did You Know is the perfect example of this. Pentatonix is just standing still in a sort of cave area, but because it's a real location, the crew just has so many more options for where they can put the camera. Outside the cave, inside the cave, looking outside the cave, facing the band head on, being inside a circle created by the band members, etc. Even in the early days, whenever they did a one-set performance where they didn't have the freedom that a real location offers, it felt like they were doing more with the choreography and cinematography to make the video as engaging as possible despite the barren sets. For example, in Royals, they place Kirsty, Scott, and Avi behind Mitch and slowly have each of them walk out from behind him as they get introduced into the song. This, combined with the fact that the video stays on up-close shots of everyone's face for the most part, gives the visuals and the song a stronger sense of progression and makes the wide shots where you can see everyone all at once a lot more impactful. Then, at the end of the video, they switch everyone's outfits from the classy, shiny gold and black suits and dresses to a more casual attire, which not only re-grabs the audience's attention right before the song ends, but enhances the meaning of the song by applying it to Pentatonix. Suddenly, it's not just a piece of music that they're doing a cover of, but a message that they identify with. There's also Somebody That I Used to Know, which is not the greatest music video, it's just literally a brick wall background and the band members are standing in a line, but they do a decent job at offsetting this by having everyone be as expressive with their bodies as they reasonably could be in such a small place. Pair that with a well-timed camera zoom out and a slight shake to the screen and you get moments in the song like this, which have way more impact than moments in more recent videos like this. In newer videos, everyone just seems so much more stationary. 5+ years ago, it was much more common for the band members to be moving around, whether it was choreographed or not, even if they were on a set and didn't have a real location to interact with. You see this in music videos like Can't Hold Us, Cruisin' for a Bruisin', and Cheerleader. Now, at this point, you've probably noticed that I've been avoiding discussing a particular type of music video that Pentatonix is kinda known for, that being the split screens. And the thing about the split screens is that whether or not they enhance the experience of a particular song rides largely on the editing because it removes variables which are present in normal music videos. This is because these types of videos inherently only show the faces and sometimes upper bodies of the band, so interesting choreography isn't an option. The whole point of these videos means that each member has to have a static camera angle the whole time, and it's virtually impossible to create a set to immerse the audience in. As a result of all of this, it's all a matter of making up for those losses in the editing department, making it as visually interesting as possible. Yes, you can give each band member an interesting outfit and makeup, but you're gonna need more than that to keep an audience visually engaged for minutes on end. And the earlier split screen videos generally did this very successfully, and by that I mean Daft Punk and Love Again, because they really didn't make that many of these. In both, not only are the cuts timed perfectly, but extra effects are commonly thrown on top of the video, and lighting is often played with, changing the entire aesthetic, which keeps audiences on their toes. On the other hand, while the well-timed cuts and strong arrangement of each member on screen has remained consistent, the more recent split screen videos videos don't succeed as much at capturing a unique aesthetic for each song. This is due largely in part to the less fantastical costume design, lack of interesting uses of lighting, and the bland static backgrounds. Attention and You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch both just use flat colors as the backgrounds, and everyone is in generic studio lighting the entire time, which is not as interesting as the nearly constantly shifting color palette and creative lighting usages in Love Again and Daft Punk. Though I will say that Winter Wonderland / Don't Worry Be Happy is definitely more similar to the modern split screen videos. While writing this script, I was continuously going back to each of the videos I've talked about to make observations and take notes, and while I was watching the behind the scenes video for Havana, I noticed something that had flown over my head the first time through.
And so we just wanted a beautiful setting where we're just lounging and chilling and singing the song, and I think it really matches the vibe of the song.
This quote struck a chord with me because it felt like a confirmation that I'm not crazy, that the changes I've noticed do exist and that I shouldn't feel bad for pointing out my problems with them nor offering my opinion for what direction I think this band should take their music videos in the future. I don't want Pentatonix to create music videos that match the music. I want them to create music videos that enhance the music. Okay. Throughout the course of writing this video, I've realized that I may have come across as though I dislike the newer music videos, but that is simply not the case. I think the newer videos are good and often great. I love the music videos for Perfect, and their most recent video, Happy Now, was genuinely fantastic. It's just that, in my opinion, on average, Pentatonix music videos used to be even better. And in complete honesty, they very well might be back on an upward swing. The last two quarantine music videos, Break My Heart and Dreams, were the best split screen videos since Love Again, if you ask me, and like I just said, Happy Now is genuinely fantastic. Great editing, multiple unique sets, engaging use of lighting and cinematography, and implementation of color, which was absolutely genius. Before any of the visual elements have time to get old on you, they throw in some color, which immediately makes it jump to life and gives the audience more information about the scene. Remember how I talked about starships keeping the audience engaged by setting up questions within the video? Well, Happy Now has the question of what would that look like in color for the majority of the video. So yes, Pentatonix is still more than capable of making amazing music videos. And I also don't want to seem like I think that making a really great music video is easy in any way. Recording at a real location is way more challenging than in a studio. Choreographing dance moves takes a lot of time and effort. The editing of many old Pentatonix videos must have been a pain in the ass. And this is coming from someone who has done complicated edits like that before. And in complete honesty, it's probably not even worth the effort in the long run. The appeal of Pentatonix is not the video, it is the music. The most popular Pentatonix music videos are entirely dependent on how popular the song that they are actually singing is. And even beyond this, Pentatonix is not obliged to knock it out of the park every time with these videos. And I don't feel entitled to that. I simply wanted to voice an opinion that I haven't seen anyone else on the internet express. And even if every single point I've made in this video sounds crazy to you, we can at least agree that Pentatonix is a fantastic band that has always and continues to make fantastic music. Thank you all for watching this video. This has been a topic I've wanted to get off my chest for a while now, and I didn't know if I wanted to make a full scripted video about it, but the more I turned it over in my head, the more stuff I knew I could talk about, and yada yada yada, here we are. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you want to see more content from me, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified of future uploads, you know the drill. But with that said, have a wonderful day, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.